Hey guys, it's Charlie. This is That Makes Sense to Me. It's a philosopher's vlog, but I'm gonna take a break here from writing about mass shootings and racism to talk about the Hackintosh that I built this summer. In particular, uh, emotional support for the project if you're in the middle of one, and also I think the things that go wrong when you're building a machine like this map quite well to what goes wrong in just generalized projects. So the title of this video could be like emotional support for Hackintosh, but it could also be like emotional support for a complicated project. And I'm going to obscure technical details of building the Hackintosh for that precise reason. There are plenty of tutorials out there that explain in like lurid detail how to go through this process. This is not one of those. This is a how do you get through a project that is this complicated when things are going wrong video. So if that's interesting to you, hope you enjoy. Okay, even though this video is about generalized problem solving and project completion, if you don't know what a Hackintosh is a PC build that is specifically designed with parts inside that have in the past worked with Mac builds and onto which Mac OS is installed. So I'm recording the audio right now through Audacity on this Hackintosh that is made out of PC parts. Three particular anecdotes that I found really frustrating and I think it would be useful to share with people who are considering a project like this. Power supply, USB 3.0 problems, and multi-beast versus uni-beast. Cool. In that order, the power supply. I spent about 15 hours researching parts. I had done the readings, I had watched the videos, I had found a build that vaguely fit my budget, and then I tinkered with it with other parts that were like next generation or that would fit. And I finally bought and purchased all of them, which was a significant expense and still cheaper than a comparable Mac. But I finally had like unboxed it all. And I had the case on my desk and I had the power supply, and the very first thing. So I don't even know how to like mount the power supply in this, and the gravity of the magnitude of the task that I've undertaken is starting to set in. It's gonna be a long night. I couldn't even install the power supply. I didn't know how to rotate it. I didn't know what way it was supposed to go in. I didn't know where the screws fit. There were multiple kinds of screws. Literally, I have a physics degree and I'm sitting here going like, I can't even turn it on because I don't know how to power it. We'll talk about that in a second. USB ports. There was a very weird quirk. My USB 3.0 ports work right now that the machine is booted, but in the boot process, USB 3.0 for some reason didn't actually work. So I had to, which I didn't know, I was not aware of that, and I had to boot in verbose mode, which was, just like straight the Matrix, right? Text is flying by on the screen. It was too fast for me to read. I had to film it and put it in slow motion to even read what was going on. And then I discovered this like one line about USB 3.0, and I remembered that I had read somewhere that USB 2.0 was the only supportable. So thank God my motherboard had USB 2.0 ports on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to boot. And then finally, another error was this multi-beast, uni-beast, automatic versus manual thing. I've forgotten some of the details because it was months ago when I did this project, but one of the tools that you can use is very plug and play. It's like press the buttons, it's done. And another one is like open the hood and see and tinker. I ran through detailed tutorials of both, and neither of them worked. And that's probably an experience that many people are having. So boom, power supply, USB ports, multi-beast, uni-beast. Let's talk about why I picked those particular struggles, even though I had like lots of other struggles. Power supply. Things are gonna go wrong that you did not anticipate. It's going to take you a long time to solve them, and they're going to be frustrating, and they're going to add up over time, and it's going to be challenging to do that. So like advice, just take breaks, talk to other people, do something else. There's lots of like little finicky things that will fail all along the way. USB ports. I'm glossing over lots of the details, but I could not boot the machine because of this error. I never made it to the installation screen that I knew that I had to get to. And I, at the time, and you, while you're in the middle of a project, will not know if this error that you're making is a like temporary setback or if it is a failure level design flaw that will prevent your system from working at all. In my case, I happen to have USB 2.0 ports on my motherboard, but if my motherboard didn't, then I wouldn't have been able to use the USB stick to run the boot, and it just never would have worked. The third principle here that I want to talk about is the multi-beast, uni-beast dichotomy. And as an aside, I got a nice tip from a guy at Micro Center who said, automatic versus manual, you really should do the manual one because when updates roll out, you want to be able to be under the hood so that you can update your operating system. Really good tip. Thanks for that. But the reason that I picked this particular anecdote is because I line by line worked through the tutorials for each of those approaches, and neither of them worked. So what I mean to say by bringing this up is that no one else's tools are fully going to work for you when you are doing something that no one else has done before. In the case of a Hackintosh, that's kind of a like literally true but trivially true statement. But in the case of complicated creative projects, I think it makes a ton of sense. If you're really trying to attempt something new, you shouldn't expect that others can help you for every single step along the way. You're going to have to cobble together, you'll need help, but you're going to have to cobble together help from source after source after source after source. And the ultimate reason that I want to make this video is that can be a paralyzing thing, or it can be an empowering thing. And if you're the kind of person who gets excited by the concept that you will do something that no one's ever done before, that you'll need help from multiple sources, you'll need to cobble together and tinker together to make this thing work, a Hackintosh build is maybe something that you could attempt. You might luck out and it might just work on the first try, like maybe multi-beast will work for you. But I think whether or not this is true, generally, it's true in specific circumstances that part of what's fun about doing a new project is that no one has done it before. And if that's the kind of project that you're attempting, things are going to go wrong you didn't anticipate. You won't know if it's a failure or it's just a setback, whether to give up or to keep going. And no one will fully be able to help you with those problems. So those are my tips for people who are considering a Hackintosh. If you're into tech videos, I've got an iPad Pro video. If you're into philosophy videos, I got lots of those because that's actually what I do. But I just wanted to make this because I thought the experience might be useful to people who are stuck in the middle of projects. Take breaks, look for help, breathe. It's going to be okay. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. I made it into the BIOS and there's a mouse. Who would have thought there would be a mouse? Also, pro tip, make sure when you're sliding this thing back on, you have it oriented the right way so that you don't spend 10 minutes of your life accidentally drilling the holes in your case in the front. Okay, I'm gonna boot in verbose mode because why not?